Promptlibretto has one main idea: a registry. A registry is sections of named items plus an assembly order that says how to weave those items into the final prompt. We're starting with the builder because this is the easiest way to see the shape. Each section is just a list of items. Required sections become a single selection. Optional sections can be toggled on or off. If we load the example here, we can see in the base context, we have a name which is seen in a text area. This text area supports template variables which are set here, and they are injected at runtime into the text. If we go into personas, you can see that personas are named character or role configurations. The studio lets users select one persona at runtime. We can use personas when the same prompt needs to behave differently. Sentiment contexts are the tone of the mood overlaid on top of the selected persona. This is good for adjusting formality or energy or style without specifically injecting that into the persona statically. Static injections are fixed text blocks inserted at a specific point in the assembled prompt. They're useful for boilerplate rules and safety disclaimers. Anything that you want to inject specifically prior to runtime. Runtime injections are dynamic text blocks that are conditionally included depending on whether or not the sections are active. You can use these for context overlays that only make sense in a certain persona at a certain time at runtime. Output directions are exactly as they sound. They're formatting and structure rules for the model's response. These can be set and explained as JSON schema, bullet points, or length constraints. Examples are pools of text that the model can learn from. These items belong to named pools, and the assembly order token picks which pool to render. This supports random selection at runtime so the model sees varied examples across requests. Prompt endings are closing lines appended after all the other content. It's like a final instruction. A queue-like answer or sign-off keeps the prompt's last line consistent regardless of which persona or sentiment was chosen. If we take a look at the prompt flow, you can actually see that we can set each section to appear specifically at a point in the prompt at runtime. For example, if we want to move up the persona context here, we can set that here. And then that specifically changes what order the prompt is built in prior to runtime. You can actually validate this registry and then load it into the studio. Once you import into the studio here, you can see that some of the sections with template variables are able to be set here to be tested. For example, we will pick a random persona at runtime, and we will pick a random base directive at runtime as well. Actually, let's pick two. Then let's also pick a random sentiment with a random intensity. We're going to go ahead and test the generation here. So we can click pre-generate to see what the actual prompt built is going to look like. You can see these randomizations happen in real time. So we have the persona here, and it changes randomly because that's what we set it to. We can enable streaming, and if you go to, on your first time connecting, you should be able to set connection here. This is my local Ollama URL and the chat path for the compatible Ollama call. You can change these as you see fit. If we go ahead and generate, you can see that according to our registry here, we are getting streamed output. We want to look at some of the other examples here. Check these as well. You can see that some of these things can actually be changed on the fly as well. So if we this format in Markdown, we can see that filled out here in pre-generation.